30th Street Station. The reason I'm starting here instead of my usual home base will be quite apparent by the end of the video, because we'll be coming right back here at the end of the day. So right now, we are teed up to catch the Norristown line, or the Manayunk-Norristown line on SEPTA Regional Rail, which we will be riding all the way to Norristown Transportation Center. A bunch of people will be joining me along the way. I'm the only one getting on at this particular station. Others will be joining me further along the route. I kind of hurried over here this morning because I thought that the train was at 7:30 and I thought I was cutting it really close. Because I was pulling up to the station at like 7:26, but apparently not, and so I was rushing into the station for no reason. Alright, I'm on the train. Two more members of our company will be joining us at Jefferson Station, which is only 2 stops down the line.
A few minutes later.
Alright, we're well past Jefferson, and I have been joined by... Hi, I'm Rania, and I don't exist.
I'm Samuel. Nice to meet you all.
Alright, and now we just settle in for the ride to Norristown. We're filming today because Amtrak recently announced that effective March 18th, 2025, their thruway bus connection between Philly and Reading via Pottstown will be discontinued. This represents the only effective means to travel between the two cities on public transportation. Today's video is to demonstrate the fact that it is technically impossible to travel to Reading on local transit only, so this bus is hugely important to connect the nearly 100,000 residents of the city of Reading to the economic activity of the rest of the Northeast. It should be noted that OurBus has put out surveys to determine whether there is enough interest in the route for them to take over at least one of the 2 daily round trips Amtrak provides, but at the time of recording, that's not yet been solidified.
I don't know about it, honestly. It's fine. I mean,
We have to scan off too.
fun.
Our next mode of transit was SEPTA Bus 93, which we would ride the entire length of from Norristown all the way to Montgomery County Community College, Pottstown campus. However, it didn't leave until 8:58, so we had about half an hour to kill. We headed into downtown Norristown to search for some breakfast. I got the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. So hopefully that'll come out soon. Anyway, we're getting Dunkin'. Bus stop's right outside.
Do some random things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, let's say if we miss any of the connections, if we don't mind.
It is probably necessary.
For you, but
Welcome to
for you too,
Route
I'll do
93.
it.
Cash fare or a valid fare instrument is required. Service to Pottstown. Like, I literally just cannot listen. That's terrible. Alright, so we're planning on transferring to PART, which is the Pottstown bus system at Montgomery County Community College. But the problem is, it's looking like it's going to be about a 2-minute transfer, and the SEPTA bus stop and the PART bus stop aren't in exactly the same place. So we're going to have to like possibly sprint for it. So we're going to see what happens. I think we can do it. I hope so. The bus is on time right now, so. Unfortunately, as we were pulling into Pottstown, some other passengers, presumably trying to make the same connection we were, unfortunately seemed to be a little confused, and got the bus driver to pause for a long time and let them off at an unmarked stop. Despite looking like we were going to make the connection for basically the entire trip, this cost us just enough time that as we were pulling into the community college, the part bus was already right on top of us, leaving us no hope of making the transfer. Because we had a relatively tight schedule to keep, we missed out on going to the furthest possible extent from Philly on transit, even though we'd have only been on the part bus for 7 minutes. So we just ordered an Uber right here to bridge the gap between here and Reading's bus system, BARDA.
3 minutes for close to $23. The other one is 3 minutes for like $20.
3 minutes, $20.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, oh, hold on. Can we fit like this? We can do it.
I'm sorry. No, it's no problem.
It's alright.
Alright, all set.
Okay, how do we... Aria, can you like help me get my seatbelt? Yeah, this is gonna be tough.
There's the bus shelter.
Yep.
It's such a pity. We didn't get to spend an extra $250 to come out there.
Yeah.
It's actually a decent amount of the way.
Yeah.
Further than I thought, based on the map.
I think for me, honestly, it's slower.
Got a text message. So what, this
Right here is good.
Right here works, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got 14 minutes before the bus comes, so. We decided to briefly head into Walmart to use the bathroom. Water fountain review, 0 out of 10. They don't work. Here comes the bus, right on time. In fact, actually 2 minutes early.
Like scan it like this, or wait, I think my brightness go way up.
I'll just try to scan mine. Okay, looks good.
I had it on the way here. I don't know what happened to it.
Okay, this is much better now. I feel this was the one I was kind of worried about.
Yes.
And now we actually are gonna complete.
I know, we're gonna make to Reading.
Just asterisk did not include Spartan.
Asterisk.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't quite get as far north as we could have on transit.
Yeah, but like,
Oh wow.
I mean, isn't that everyone's like video always ends up being like they either cut one of the routes out of the itinerary?
Yeah, something like that happens. Well, I guess the only thing left to do is figure out what we're gonna do when we actually get to Reading.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, anybody got any ideas?
No.
He's gonna go meet Gloria.
That's downtown over there.
Yeah, something coming. Oh, wow.
Giant sign that says wedding.
That says reading. Reading.
You just get.
Reading Opportunity Center.
Oh.
I mean, do you still wanna?
No, not really. I want to actually explore the town.
Do not think so. Let's not do that.
Right to Thirdsboro with service to Boscombe, Exeter Commons, Shelburne Square, Red Hills, Walmart, and Birdsboro bus is now boarding Stop 5.
Departure boards for buses. That's so nice, actually. Is that a coffee machine? Wow. I want to see these in rest stops. Barda TC water fountain review. Solid 7 out of 10. So now we are standing outside Barda Transportation Center, and we've got approximately 2.5 hours to kill before our bus back to Philadelphia, which is being discontinued next week, which is why we are here. So we wanted to demonstrate why this bus is so important, because you cannot get here without it. So we're gonna find stuff to do in the meantime. To make the most of our time in Reading, first we got on a bus to West Reading to visit a drugstore Rania had identified beforehand as having postcards. We also stopped off at a Wawa to have a snack. After returning to the transportation center, we walked around downtown Reading for a little while, visited the currently defunct train station, and went up onto the roof of a nearby parking garage to get some nice aerial shots of the city. We made sure to be back at the transit center well in time to catch the Amtrak bus.
Bus is now departing stop 7. Schuylkill Avenue bus is now departing stop 7.
We're on a completely sold out bus. Some of the seats on the bus are broken and nobody can figure out how to move them back, so a bunch of people are sitting on the floor and standing. So that's really great. We love public transportation. Well, in any case, the whole point is basically just to show that this bus is easier than what we did to get here this morning. And that is still true. It is going to be faster, and you don't have to think. So, and it's also cheaper because you don't have to pay for an Uber. So, at least that much will still be demonstrated, even if the bus is subpar somewhat. Ben Franklin Highway, or US 422, is just an absolute mess of a strode in some spots, and we're about to come up on one of them.
A few minutes later.
Bye-bye, downtown Foxtown.
It's right on time. It's 2:40.
A little while later.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, where can we?
All right.
Hello.
We're alive. We made
We
it.
still exist, I think.
We're back in Philly now. Other than the fact that people couldn't fit into the bus because the seats were broken and couldn't be pushed back and opened up, the bus ride was uneventful. We got in slightly early.
Despite this, we still got stuck in a lot of traffic on 76 because, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, part and parcel for this route. But yeah, certainly way more convenient than doing what we did to get out to Reading in reverse. So
Yeah.
very unfortunate that this bus is going away. And at this point, certainly would be nice if there was anything we could do about it, but I'm not sure there is. So
Apparently the mayor's trying to do something about it, but I'm not sure if that'll work.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We don't know really, honestly. I just hope they bring some kind of service back, even if it's not through Amtrak, you know?
yeah, it really sucks that this is going away.
I do hope that if service does come back, even if it isn't ran by Amtrak anymore, it has better times too.
Oh yeah, certainly. This was an interesting experience. We have to like get up at the correct point of time.
I literally got up at 6:30 in the morning, and somehow that was still extremely late for this.
I barely just missed my bus by like a couple of seconds because I also overslept this morning too. But I made it, so
Yeah. They've definitely timed this route out for people coming into Philly from Reading and not vice versa. So obviously not the best timing for us coming from Philadelphia. So anyway, I think we had a lot of fun and we got to ride a lot of buses. Unfortunately, we didn't get to ride part, so we could get to the absolute furthest point and take the absolute shortest Uber trip possible. But you know, you win some, you lose some. So anyway, it was great doing this. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks
Always
for
down.
having me.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for agreeing to be in the video.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
All right. And I will continue to make more ridiculous transit videos in the future. Bye-bye.